and racism. These things were very much not as known to me as much as I thought they weren't. Like, they were current in my education system. I was very much just kind of oblivious to it. You know, ignorant is bliss. But it was like you started to notice things like with my classmates, and they very much uh, were stereotyped in a way based on their skin color. So that where is where the racism comes in. I'm very fortunate that I've never truly had to experience such a deep level of it, but I do know like people who have had very extreme experiences, and so I definitely try to be mindful of all those things and try to make sure that I am not crossing any lines or boundaries with them, especially along those lines. Um, I feel like nowadays I don't really see it as much, but it could just be the environment I'm in. I know that it's something that is very much still that goes on, and I'm very just fortunate that I haven't gotten to experience as much of it. Ableism was definitely a lot more common for me with family and with my upbringing in the education system. It definitely was like said like, oh, you know, you should take care of yourself, you should talk to somebody about your problems, but nobody ever really helped you with your problems. Nobody ever really talked to you about them and tried to relate to you with them because they couldn't. And a lot of them didn't really give very good advice either with your mental health or how to help you with it. And then along with that, like with family, they just kind of refused it. They definitely didn't acknowledge it. They definitely didn't um necessarily believe in it either. My family, I don't think they were against it, but I definitely think that they believe that if you went to go get help and for your mental state, it was like you're crazy, along those lines. But as I've gotten older, it has gotten better. And I like that I see that with my family. We can have those conversations. There are uncomfortable conversations for them, but they come up and we can talk about it, which I personally really like. It was hard to always bring it up with them, but I'm glad it got easier as I got older. Even in the education system, I worked with two different school districts, and I like that it has gotten better for them to address it and to make it much more well known that you should take care of yourself, don't ignore the signs, like get help if you need it. They encourage it for students. Obviously, not all students will take it. It is a very scary thing, but I like that I see it more often. It definitely wasn't there as I grew up, so I definitely want to push that as an educator when I get there. Um, and then also with genderism, I feel like that's a lot more pushed. From what I have seen growing up in the education system, it was with females. With my family, I saw it more with males. Just because with females we had to act a certain way, and then it felt like we had to dress a certain way. And it just felt like there were a lot of two-sided standards for females when I was growing up, throughout school. And it was very confusing for me because I was still in a period of my life where I was still figuring out who I was, and I was just happy with what I had, and I was just like, I just want to dress the way what makes me feel good about me. I had no reason to see gender in it. But as I got older, I realized it's such a big thing that goes on that, you know, people really are just kind of like, you are a boy, you have to stick to boy things. You are a girl, you have to stick to girl things. And I personally want to work um, my way out of that, especially when I eventually do get to a classroom. Um, and just try to make sure it's a good environment for them, that they can be whoever they want as an individual, not force gender onto them, that a color is a color, um, and hair is just hair. It's like nothing really should define them. And if they see themselves as female, great. They see themselves as male, even great as well. So um, that's just kind of my bit of the upbringing that I had of with those isms that had happened in my life growing up and in the education system. I hope that when I am a future educator, that I can bring a safe and a healthy environment for them to be able to be themselves and not have to fear of doing things based off stereotypes and stigmas that like they force onto genders and kids and everything else. Thank you. Appreciate it.